What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, Solomon, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a Fire Dragon guide. Now, this is a hard mode dungeon, guys. You take 2100 plus gear score, which is fairly hard to get. Like, getting 2100 is that like brick wall. Once you get past it, it's really easy to get up to like 3500 up to 4K, as long as we do all your raids, of course. So you gotta know how to do this fight, guys. This is probably one of the easiest ones at all. Like, it looks intimidating because there's a lot of mechanics, which I'm gonna go through each of them and show you guys a little clip of each of them so you guys have an understanding of what the boss does and all that. Don't expect to go in your first time and actually just roll right through this and not die. You're gonna die, but once you get like in the groove of how the mechanics works and his timing and stuff like that, it's actually a really simple fight, even though it looks like it's hectic. I mean, it will be at first, but you're definitely gonna get it. So let's go ahead and get into this, guys. Okay, so the first thing he actually does, and he's gonna do this a lot. I'm not gonna show you a clip of this because you're gonna probably see it in the background anyways while we're doing the boss. He charges around. Now, he does have a fire charge and a non-fire charge. And basically what that does, if he's not the fire charge, it won't put a dot on you. Now, if he does hit you with the charge, it does do damage and put a dot on you. Now, I will be showing you on the screen now, showing you what you do if you get the dot. Now, every time he hits you, it will put this above your head. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna simply run over to the little fairies, dispel the dot, and go back on the boss. This is gonna happen a lot, don't worry, guys. Yes, sometimes you can tank this dot. I don't recommend you, because sometimes it can stack up pretty high and it can start doing like 200 damage per tick. And if you don't have a good healer, or you're trying to do this with no healer, that's a death sentence. So it's super, guys. I know you're gonna lose a little bit of DPS, but run over there, dispel it, and just get back on the boss. I mean, it's almost impossible not to get hit at certain points, so just dispel it, guys. It's not that bad. Alright, next up is gonna be the Fire Breath. Now, this is a frontal cone fire attack. This is super easy to get out of. He actually takes a couple seconds, or maybe like a second or so, to like actually do this. I'm gonna be showing you the clip, of course, and even if you get in it, it's gonna put the dot on you, which is okay. Like you said, just dispel it. Sometimes he does it, I believe, once, but sometimes he can do up to 3 times. Now, it's very simple to get out of this. You can just sidestep it or however you want to do it. The closer you are, of course, the shorter the cone is going to be, which is going to be easier to dodge. So this is not, if you get hit by this, it's not the end of the world. Just try not to get hit by guys, save your guys' healers, and just pay attention. It's not that hard of a mechanic. Okay, so this one's a little bit more tricky, and this one definitely hurts. For the most part, it should not one-shot you unless you come in here at like 2100 and you are very under-geared. It's going to be called a tail swipe. Now, what he's going to do is the boss will run into a random corner usually, and he will take a couple seconds, and you'll notice he'll kick his tail around, and basically what he's going to do is swipe his tail. Now, if you are on the opposite side of the platform, you should have no problem with this. It is a pretty far attack, so you definitely want to give yourself some distance from the boss and let him do the tail swipe. If you get hit by this, it's gonna hurt. I can't say you're gonna get one shot for some classes, but like I say, if you come in here on blues and you're like a wizard or like a priest or something like that, more than likely you're gonna get one shot. So the best thing to do with this, guys, is learn the mechanic and try to just stay away from this. I'm gonna be talking about the tail swipe as well, or a tail slam, which usually comes after a tail swipe. So let's go ahead and get into the tail slam now. And what the tail slam is gonna do is, after he does his tail swipe, not always, guys, but sometimes, this is like it's normal mechanics. So after his tail swipe, he'll immediately go into a tail slam. Now, what the tail slam does is a frontal cone, and you'll see the lines on the ground. So it's very, very easy to dodge this. There's no reason you should ever be hit by this. And he's gonna do 3 of them. Usually it starts in the middle, then he'll pick a left or right side, and of course the last side that didn't get hit. He'll do it just that one each side like that, then he'll move on to usually a charge or something like that. Okay, for the Aoe Stun, now this is one that it's almost, I would say honestly ignore it for the most part. I mean, yes, you're gonna lose 5 seconds unless you're trying to do like a crazy speed run. I honestly don't try to dodge the stun. What the boss is gonna do is I'm gonna show you, he usually jumps in the air and he just like lands down, and I think he like growls or something like that, and he will stun you. It is a 5-second stun, so I mean, if you want to try to dodge it, you can. What you actually can do is follow the little holes, I believe, that are there, or be on the opposite side of the platform away from him. I think it's the range, and it should be okay. You don't get stunned. Now, he does do 2 stuns. The first one doesn't really matter too much, and the second one is very, very important on phase 1, because when he does the second one, as you see the little craters, like the platform has little gray spots in it. When he breaks the when he goes to that second stun, it breaks those, of course. So now those fall down. Now that's going to give you the holes to get in. The first stun, you're just going to have to kind of eat it or try to dodge it the best you can by staying on the opposite of the room. But it's a 5-second stun, and it's going to take you 3 or 4 seconds to get back over there to the boss. So it's up to you what you want to do. I recommend to staying kind of, you know, grouped up a little bit so a healer can just top you back off if needed, which, like I said, you shouldn't be taking much damage anyways from this. It's honestly a mechanic that you can kind of ignore. So if you want to kind of put this mechanic aside and try to focus on other mechanics so you don't die, that's probably for the best. But eventually you get good enough on this that you can dodge the second one. Because remember, the first one is going to be, you won't have the little holes to fall in to dodge it. So you're either going to have to be, I believe, behind him, or maybe not. I'm not really sure, but I always just try to eat this stun. It's not the big of a deal, guys. Okay, for the roll attack. This is another mechanic that you could honestly ignore. It does very little damage, but it does stun you. So like before, guys, if you have the dot on you, which you should not, but if you do and you get stunned, this could possibly kill you. But like I said, it does so little damage with higher gear that I honestly, for the most part, I just stand in it. There's no reason to move and, you know, not get the extra damage in. But when you're coming in here to learn to fight, it's best to do it right. So when he starts to jump around like crazy, the best thing to do is get out of melee range and you should be okay. And as soon as he stops jumping, just get back on the boss again. If you're a range class, you could pretty much ignore this because you're not going to be in melee range for the most part unless you guys are, you know, stacking up for your priest or whatever, which it should not be a problem though. Alright guys, so this is where the mechanics start to get a little bit more rough and unforgiving. If you get hit by this next mechanic, 90% of the time, you are dead. If you are in blues, you are dead. So this is very, very, very important, guys. You guys gotta pay attention to this, and yes, you're gonna get hit by this until you learn it. Even when you learn this, sometimes you just don't get quick enough, and the boss it'll do it 2 different sides. So what this is the laser beam. Now, if you guys remember before, when I told you he does that jump attack and does the roar, and at 70% roughly, he will break the little squares in the floor. Those give you the holes, okay? So what the boss is gonna do is he's gonna be in a corner, and he's gonna turn his head one direction. This is how you're gonna notice it. He's gonna turn his head and face one way, and he's gonna do a laser across the whole platform. So what you need to be doing is you need to be down in one of the little holes or off the main platform to dodge the laser beam. Now he usually does up to 4, I believe it's 3 or 4 laser beams. So be very careful, guys. That laser beam hurts bad. Like, it's 2100, you probably can't even survive it. So just pay attention, guys. You will learn this. It will take some time, especially, but just practice. Okay, guys, going into phase 2. When a boss hits roughly 35%, depending on what dots you have on him, you're going to phase 2. What the boss is going to do, he's going to charge off and break that gate and go to the next room. This is very important, guys. What's going to happen is the 2 fairies that you're getting dispelled from earlier from the dot are going to go up by the entrance of this. Do not run across that platform yet. What you're going to do is wait a couple seconds until you see the fairies. They're going to put a buff on you when you run through them. It'll be like a 12-second buff. You can look on the bottom left of your screen. You'll see it. It's a blue buff. It'll say 12 seconds. And you can keep refreshing it every time you touch the fairies. Once you get the buff, you guys all run as a group across the bridge, the lava bridge, and go to the next fight. Going into that, it's pretty simple. You have plenty of time to get across the bridge. Just pay attention and try to move as a group, because the boss won't attack you guys again until you get to him as a group, or if someone else gets to him first, then you're going to face. It's very important that you all go at the same time, because you don't want someone else there already starting to fight, and as you guys are running across, you guys are going to get hit by mechanics that you shouldn't be because someone was in a hurry. Alright guys, welcome to phase 2. Now, the fight is going to be a little bit more trickier, but this is going to favor melee for the most part. The main strat for this phase 2 is that you're going to stack mostly in the left corner, as you're going to see us do it quite a bit here. And what this does is, because the boss is going to do the fire attack from earlier, and this one you don't move out of. Yes, if you don't have a healers, you guys might use a different strat, but this is the most common strat that everyone uses, and this is probably the best strat to stay alive. So when you first get into a boss, is definitely going to do usually 2 fire attacks, and what's going to do is breathe fire on all you. It's up to your priest to actually heal you through this. So do not panic. Your healer will keep you up. You just gotta stay good. And this is a good time if you're a priest, or you're not a priest, but if you're a wizard or a knight, or anything you can do to help give a buff for yourself or give a buff for your teammates. Anything to help reduce damage is great. So Other than that, the boss is going to do an actual meteor mechanic. Now this is super important because you guys, when in after the fire attack, you guys are all staying stacked up on the left side. Now the meteor attack, what you're going to be seeing on the screen now, is an attack where you need to run around and you don't stop. Don't worry about damage, don't worry about anything, because if you get hit by a meteor, it takes a lot of damage and it puts a dot on you, which is very bad because now you can't dispel the dot, which means your healer has to keep you up through this. And if you get hit by multiple meteors, that's multiple dots, which means more damage, and you're probably gonna die. So, and usually after the meteor phases, guys, you end up going stacking back up again. The main strat here is always be on that left side and try to move as a group. Other than that, this fight is straightforward. He's going to do lasers again. He's going to do all of his mechanics that he did before, but he's not going to be charging now, but he will be doing stuns and stuff like that. So everything kind of goes through phase 1 into phase 2, but the boss is lower health and he will have lasers. So, and when the lasers, just remember guys, he does do a left to right and a right to left. He will try to trick you with those lasers, and if you're not careful and you're not quick enough getting those holes, you're in trouble because his lasers hurt bad. But guys, I know this is kind of quick and stuff. I tried to do best I could on describing this. The best advice I can is go in there. We brought people with us and basically we clear every time with no problem now. So I would say 2 to 3 dungeons of doing this, like 2 to 3 clear. And even if you die, you're gonna learn how the boss works, how he actually like goes into phases. You're gonna learn your own techniques of watching what the boss does. Because the boss normally when he lasers, he'll jump on his back, like go on his back legs and roar. Then you know he's gonna laser. Not always though, but 90% of the time he lasers. So that's one thing I do. Another way to notice if he's gonna laser is he's going to turn his head. As soon as you turn his head, he's gonna laser. For the fire one, he does like, he jumps and spins. So you know he's gonna do a fire attack that will give you guys a chance to pot or whatever else you need to do. For the meteor, he gets on his back legs and just points his head up and you know he's gonna do a meteor. Other than that, I mean, the fight is really simple, guys. I know there's a lot of mechanics, so there's a lot to take in, but I recommend you just going in and queuing for this and just give it a shot. And if you don't make it to phase 2, that's fine. You know, learn phase 1 as a group, keep practicing, guys, and keep going through this. And I would definitely say you can get this in a day with no problem. And once you get the mechanics down, this fight is just a breeze. Like, you could probably do this without a healer, but you might have to swap up the mechanics a little bit and how you go about it, because there's no way you guys are gonna eat that fire without a healer, so you're gonna have to dodge it, which can be tricky. So I'd recommend at least a priest for sure. Even if that priest isn't in straight blues at 2100, that priest can still keep you up, but it'd be sketchy. You know, just practice, make sure you guys have your builds right, make sure you guys are communicating. Anyways, guys, I know it's a lot of rambling here, but thank you guys so much. I hope this video helps you. If you guys have any questions about this fight or anything like that, feel free to comment down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.